Lord have mercy, let's go ahead and do another review today since everybody and their mama decided to launch on the same freaking day. Something tells me it was this guy's idea first to launch on this particular date. The 2026 Mathews Arc, available in a 34 and a 30, which I don't have here. Why? Because I wanted a 34. And you may also be asking yourself, Scotty, how'd you get your hands on a Mathews on launch day? Because typically it takes a while for me to get one, right? Well, for the past 10 years that has been the case, except now something's different. We're selling them. That's right, we're announcing our official Mathews dealership today with the 2026 ARC, so we're still going to do a review. I'm still going to be biased, unbiased, mean, nice, kind, funny. It doesn't matter. Just because I sell it doesn't mean I have to like it, because it's about what you guys like, and you guys don't always like what I like, right? Now, I do have to give a special thanks to Mathews for coming out with my favorite spec bow the first year we become a dealer. 34-inch axle-to-axle, 6.5-inch brace. Y'all didn't have to do that just for me. Honestly, it's been a little while since Mathews had a 34 bow, if I'm not mistaken. And to my knowledge, I don't think any other company, except for maybe one, is actually going to have a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow for 2026. So let's go over what's new, then we'll go over what's old, then we'll go over what I think about the draw cycle, how it feels, all that good jazz, and then we'll do a little speed test so y'all can find out how fast you want to miss. So starting off with what's new on the 2026 Mathews, I don't know if I can get this in frame. Oh, maybe, yep. Your Silent Connect system is now integrated into the bow. You don't have to buy that separately anymore, which is really nice because now I can just be like, hey, here you go. Now all you gotta do is buy the rope. It's over there. The next thing that's kind of new, kind of not new, they're a switch weight cam that's been around for I don't know how long, and it's probably never going to go anywhere because it's a genius design with the switch weight mods. Best I can tell, hold on, focus, there she is. They slimmed down the tracks on both sides of the cam, and they somehow added some performance. It's really hard to get all the exact details 48 hours before the launch because the guys at the factory are obviously hustling and bustling to make sure everybody gets their bows so they don't complain on launch day. Why don't I have bows? Well, you know, should have ordered sooner. I don't know. New riser, which is something that changes almost every single year. This one does kind of stand out to me because from this angle, she looks like she got a big top and a big bottom end, but when she turns sideways, she's pretty slim in all the right places. I ain't gonna lie to you. And to be a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow, I can throw it on the scale. Hell's bells. I don't usually do all this statistical stuff. I leave that to Josh Jones because he's way better at it than me. And okay, well, with the arrow rest and the D-loop, this bow's coming in at 4.4. So might be closer to 4.2, 4.1, almost 4 pounds, I'd say, without the rest and all that good jazz. IBO speed is, I have no idea. I don't care because it's gonna be fast enough to kill a deer at 70 pounds of 29-inch draw for me, I guarantee it. This is their new Kodiak Brown, and I kind of wish they went with a more simplistic name that's easier to spell, like mud, because that's exactly what it looks like. And it's not really, it's got a little glossy to it, but it's not gonna stick out in the tree. I'll be honest with you, I told the guy I kind of wanted to go with shale just because I like a gray bow, but we might hang on to this one for a little while, see how it looks in a pine tree. I bet it's gonna blend right in right before I shoot her in the eyeballs. They streamlined the limb pockets a little bit, which is very interesting to me. Quite a few companies, them included, have gone from parallel or beyond parallel limb pockets to a much narrower limb pocket. I'm not really sure what the thought process there is, but there must be something behind it because a lot of companies are doing it. Now, since we got narrow limb pockets, you're gonna have to get some new limb legs. The new Engage limb legs will work pretty much only on this bow, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it's still got all your integrated stuff that Mathews is very well known for. Rest, bridge lock, still gonna have your integrated quiver options, all that good jazz to keep you slick and looking good on Instagram. Something else that they said they did, and actually I can't confirm because I put it in the draw board, is you remember on the Lift and the Lift X, how at full draw these limbs would curl back like you're peeling a banana? Don't get me wrong, they still curl back, but it's not nearly as sketchy as on those last two bows. They relieve some pressure off the limbs. It is the same limbs, so nothing's changed there. It's just they're just changing the angle of the limbs at full draw. So let's go through the draw cycle. I have the 85% let off mods. If you've ever watched any of my videos in the past, I've said it before and I'll stick by it. The Phase 4 had my favorite draw cycle of almost, I shouldn't say of almost any Mathews bow, but when they came out with the Lift and the Lift X, can't say I was a huge fan of those. draw cycles. So I stand beside that just because I'm a dealer dummy. This is the best thing ever. No, not my house, homie. No. Now the XD, for whatever reason, that draw cycle was delicious. Where is my release? Oh, found her. So we're just gonna give it a few shots. Whiz it right by the camera. Hopefully don't hit the camera, and do hit that 24-inch big shot Extreme 500 that I love so much. Oh, also still has limb shift technology, which that'll never go away. That's any kind of shifting the cams or limb pockets or anything like that for tuning is pretty much always going to stay on a bow unless they get sued, because why would you take that off? That's genius. Grip is still the same too. I feel like I really over-exaggerated that draw cycle. Hold on, you gotta check twice before you make an assumption. So I'm trying to take a look. Huh. Hold on. I think I see what they changed. So something I watched a lot of people struggle with on the Lift and the Lift X is the valley. If you don't know what the valley is, I ain't talking about Shenandoah Valley. What I'm talking about is once you're in that back wall, the Lift and the Lift X required a lot of holding weight. I shouldn't say, well, yeah, I guess it would, depending on the poundage, it could have been a lot. But you had to stay in that back wall at full draw, or it would yoink you forward every single time. And I watched a lot of shooters struggle with that, especially newer shooters. And it is really hard to sell somebody a $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 bow if they can't hold it back there and shoot it comfortably. So I feel like they may have fixed that on this bow. I wonder if it's because of the limbs. Yeah, because you can see those limbs right there. Let me bring it a little closer for y'all. I'm doing something real sketchy. They don't peel back nearly as far as the Lift and the Lift X. Very little response in the hands, which that's almost every bow nowadays. Mathews definitely started it though. Remember people come in the shop, you got something that's dead in the hands? Like, yeah, a hot dog. Here, put this in your mouth. Talk and pay attention to the draw cycle. It's very consistent. That's something else that I feel like, and it may have something to do with the limbs. I'm not 100% sure. It may have something to do with what they said they did differently on the cams that I'm not really noticing other than the track. But on the Lift and the Lift X, I used to notice a little bit of a, not really a hump, but more of a speed bump towards the back end of the draw cycle. Which those bows were kind of built for speed, and this one is too. Like I said, I don't recall what the IBO speed is, but it was like 340 something, which is pretty average nowadays. And the Lift and the Lift X, I remember very excuse me, I remember very well on those two bows that once you got about 3/4 way through the draw cycle, you had to give it a little bit more giddy up. I'm not really experiencing that with this bow so far. I say so far like it's going to change. If it does change, something bad's happened. I will have to point out one thing that does raise eyebrows a little bit. And so when they sent me this bow, they sent me their integrated rest, which to my knowledge pretty much is already preset at center shot for the Mathews bow. And I've seen this happen in the past, so y'all tell me. Now I am shooting, come on Scotty, quit wiggling. I am shooting a 5mm arrow with some low profile 2.25 tack driver vanes, and I have barely got enough clearance past that roller guard. And it may be that I'm missing some kind of adjustment or something on that roller guard. It doesn't look like it. But if that is preset center shot, which it looks to be about where I would put it if it wasn't out of the box correctly, and this tape measure is gonna be backwards. Get in there. Well, this is interesting. I'm not sure if this is correct because they've cut out the inside of the riser, and if I'm going straight to where the riser is to the center of the arrow, it is exactly 1 inch. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make a phone call on that one. if I was setting this bow up and that rest wasn't already preset for this bow, I think I would have ended up in the same spot. So I'll be curious to know if there is some kind of adjustability that I'm unfamiliar with on this here high dollar device, because somebody with a standard diameter arrow and a little bit higher profile fletchings, they're going to hit that roller guard. And yes, I know you can turn it and it'll be fine, but you know, it's the little things, you know. We want everything perfect so we don't have an excuse. So I'm going to pull through this draw cycle slow one time. It's still pretty consistent. Uno mas, then we're going to go to the speed test. I mean, so far, kudos for making a more shooter-friendly bow. They did add a little something to the valley. I kind of felt it right there. And when I say I felt it, I felt a little bit of relief when I hit the back wall. There really wasn't a dump off. I mean, you really don't feel anything until you hit that, till you hit those cable stops. All right, so we got 3 different arrows, 3 different weights. Gonna shoot them both twice. The first arrow up's gonna be a whopping 366 grains, and keep in mind this is a 70-pound bow at 29-inch draw with 85% let-off mods. That's a little snappy. 322.7 on the second shot. First shot is 294.6. That's not bad considering that was 450 grains, like I said. 295 on the second shot. 286.4. Wow. Well, there's some numbers for you, and some pretty impressive numbers in my opinion, for being honest. So far, I mean, I hate talking about how dead a bow, I shouldn't say I hate, I don't really like talking about how dead a bow is. I don't really like talking about how quiet a bow is, because most of them are pretty dead nowadays. Some you can definitely tell a little bit more than others. This one's no exception. Feels great on the shot. It is extremely quiet, and that's something Mathews has always done for a number of years, long before I was ever a dealer, that's for sure. But once again, that is the 2026 Mathews Arc. And I would highly recommend getting your hands on these. Try them if you're unfamiliar with what you want, not sure what you're going to do, but you do know how much you're going to spend. I don't know exactly right off the rip what the retail price is going to be on this bow. If I had to say, probably around $13.50, $14.50, somewhere in that price point. Go into your local pro shop, give this one a try, give every bow a try that's in there. Don't sell yourself short. But once again, we will have these on launch day. And if you're seeing this, it is launch day. So come and see us if you're in the local area. If you're driving a long ways, please call and make an appointment so we can make sure we have what you're wanting to shoot or try out in the shop. Thanks again for watching, boys and gals. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate saying that, but apparently it works.